in revenue for the general fund. So that tells us we had some bumps last year. We transferred part of that, though, remember, is $500,000 transfer from Fund 40 in 2009. Or in 2000, that was done in 2000, first of 2009. When was that?
It was done in 2009.
So did have that $500,000 transfer, which makes that number really about $6.2 million in actual revenues. So that part being said, I'm going to kind of sit down real quick, and then we're going to run through where we're projecting right now. And if you guys have questions, you may have a question right now before. Yeah. Like I said, on ad valorem tax, if you guys go to page 5, general fund preliminary projections, we're estimating the same $2.5 million. Now the caveat is we're projecting delinquent taxes to be down significantly. 2008 it was $42,000. 2009 it was $77,000. This year we're much slower, and that's the trend we're still seeing, right, Carrie? Mm-hmm. So we are being very conservative, very bearish with outlook on delinquent taxes. I think people are choosing not to pay. They're not paying. Payment in lieu of taxes. In 2010, that payment has been made. That is the Housing Commission that makes that. Sales tax in 2009, we brought in $1.5 million. We're projecting $1.45 for both years right now. I think that's still conservative at this point. However, let's get the next 2 months worth of revenues in, and we'll have a better point. Kansas Gas or Allegiance Communication. This is one to point out, as we are now projecting this to be down $8,000. We're seeing a trend where more and more people are not subscribing to cable. We think for the most part that they're still receiving these services through Dish Network and DirecTV and making those choices. So we lose that 5% franchise rate. We still capture sales tax on sales tax rates on Dish Network and DirecTV. However, since they do not use our alleyways, we are unable to have a franchise tax on them. Kansas Gas Service. Let's point this out. We have a 3% franchise tax right now on Kansas Gas Service, which in 2009 was $544,000. This year we're estimating $432,000, and next year $465,000. MGP refund. We refund to MGP everything they pay over $40,000. So we're only really netting about $275,000 in the actual actual money off that franchise fee because of that rebate to MGP. Westar Energy is about $485,000. Last summer was cool, but Westar also did 4 rate increases last year. So, and as they increase their rates, the franchise fee goes up because it's connected to their rates. So that's somewhere to look at in the future. AT&T is kind of all over the map. People are turning to AT&T for DSL service. However, that is not subject to franchise taxes. So we also need to take a hard look at our franchise agreement with AT&T. We are still using the old percentage method, where most cities have now gone to a per line fee instead of a percentage, which nets out to additional cash flow for the city. Embark, $465. That's for service out at Shannon Industrial Park. Atchison Casting, Bracken, $12,000. They transport gas. So if you look in 2008 when they were at full production, that was bringing in about $20,000 a year. As they slowed down in 2009, that decreased drastically. So we're obviously not back up to the 2008 numbers there, but holding on. Then we got RV, truck tax, ad valorem auto tax. That's a formula of our mill levy. We're provided that number by the treasurer's office, by the county treasurer's office, and we're told just to plug that number in. So that's where that number comes from. The state did raise that fee this year for KDOT. We won't see that money, but that's just something to put out there. And as you guys are all aware, the transient gas tax is a pass-through tax to the chamber. So far, that is off slightly from previous years, even with the increase. However, it kind of trended that way after the last increase, so we are going to need at least one more quarter to get a real gauge on that one. But that's a pass-through to us, so it doesn't affect our budget a whole lot. It affects the chamber's budget a whole lot, but not our budget. Going back, we have our going on down, we have the connecting links agreement, we have the special liquor, where 1/3 goes to the general fund, 1/3 goes to special parks, and 1/3 goes to the alcohol fund. So that's that 1/3 that goes to the general fund. Let me talk a little bit about court costs. Last year, we brought in $106,000 in court fees. You guys said we'd like to see that increase this year. And we're up some, about $12,000, which if you net that out over the year is only about $35,000 increase. So that would mean $140,000, which is kind of concerning when you look at that number alone. Did you run new delinquent numbers?
Long story short, we are down about 20 to 25% on both the budget target that you set for the new rates. But we have
308. Last year at this time we had about $200,000 in accounts receivable in court fees or fines and fees, and this year we're at $308,000 in accounts receivable. If Rona was here, a lot of our folks who get tickets don't come in and pay the whole ticket that day. They pay $10, they pay $5, they pay $20. They don't pay, they go to jail. But it's a slow process because of these payment plans that are out there. I'm a little more bullish on that than I originally was with seeing that outstanding debt right now. I don't think we'll collect it all, but if we're $100,000 up at this point, if Mike's guys continue the pace that they've been on, then I think we should be able to hit that target. We're going to have to write, it's not as simple, write more, receive more. The account receivable process is a little more lengthy, and I think we have